Hi there, welcome to breaking news within the Noah Presgrove case. More strange things have gone on, more shocking twists and turns and changes in behaviour. As said, it was important to monitor, and from the looks of it, it's happened supposedly with Kathy Bingham, the private investigator, the one that's doing it. Was it no bono, free bono, bono, boner, bump ass, jack off? What the fuck is going on? A mixture of words, what we need to rearrange into the correct order to make sense of, right? But basically, in short, Kathy Bingham doing it free of charge. No money, not having to pay for her services, which at the time I guess considered a good thing, but was there a catch? Well, there was suspicion, skepticism, and people, I guess, doing research, finding out that there's a conflict of interest, that there are ties to one of the partygoers, Bryle and Sweat. So could Kathy Bingham be understanding with one of the partygoers but more critical of others? And it started to show right now. So welcome to those in this live premiere and others watching on catch up. Be sure to let me know your thoughts and comments down below under this video right now or at the end of this video to let me know what you think of the situation. For those that are currently here in the live premiere, feel free to use the live chat box right hand side of the screen. If you are interested in catching up with my previous videos about this case and all the other previous breaking news documented and archived, top right corner of the screen where the eye symbol is, click there. You'll find the full playlist of all the videos that I've done, easy to find, and the separate ones as in earlier today or yesterday, because I have done quite a few. Take in mind, if you need a distraction, if things get too much in certain ways, I do have a bit of an outside of the box video. It might be relaxing for some people. The Shades of Wrath Part 2 has arrived. I don't know if that's uploaded earlier today or later tonight. I did ask on my channel, do people want to see it as a live premiere like this format or as a standard video? I'll see what happens about that and then I'll make a decision there. But right now we're focusing on Noah Presgrove. Down below in the comment section, just as a heads up, you will find a pinned comment by me with additional links if you do want to support this channel. With that all being said and done, let me just give a very short backstory if people don't quite understand yet. Kathy Bingham, a part of one of the Facebook pages online. I don't know if that is the army page, the case discussion page, and or the justice page, which is run by the family. On one of them, if not more, possibly, Kathy Bingham has left. Has she left the case? Who knows, but she's left some of the discussion pages. And why's that? Her own choice? Is it yet another person stepping down? You've seen the list as it's grown with time, but other names have come up since. Now, maybe I might not agree with all of the names being questioned, but we can look on Reddit, maybe in a separate video, because roughly how it was worded, the sentence was done very well. The bullet points, the named characters, somewhat interesting. That's a separate topic. But there are changes going on in this case. But why would Kathy Bingham leave? And did anything happen before she left? Yes. And it's been documented. It's been archived, thankfully. It just so happened that her original post was deleted. Did she delete it and then decide to leave the page? Is it because she's had enough? Is it heat of the moment and taking it out on the wrong person? Where does Kaden Pressy come into all this? Because whether I've said it yet or not, the title of this video highlights Kaden Pressy in the firing line. And in a way for good reason, because of the events that have happened just recently. What we heard from that leaked interview. You remember that with the police, the authorities? And Kaden made references to Kathy Bingham. Was Kathy Bingham not too pleased with that? And that's why she has responded back online and then regretted it afterwards, or has had enough, or any other reasons. Got to try and process it all. I think what's best to do first is look at the original material from the horse's mouth, what the private investigator had to say, and how you can interpret it, because you can definitely interpret it in a very negative way and in somewhat of a biased way too. There are some additional comments and questions by people at the time, never answered, and then the post was deleted. Other people have talked about it since. It's only just happened recently, within earlier today or last night, taking mind the time zone difference of when I go to sleep, and that's why I'm covering it now. I want to give my thoughts on the situation to see if I can make sense of why it's happened and why now, and what could be implicated next, and what about the background research and evidence conducted? Is that in tatters as well? And some people may have forgotten about that, so we'll make a reference to it later, whether that's on the map analysis or not. Without further ado, let's get into this mess. So here we are. I believe this is the original post, as it says just now. Kathy Bingham. See the profile picture too. If you didn't know, Kathy Bingham also appeared on Partners in True Crime podcast, and I'm sure that the video is still up there. So if anyone would like me to go over it again in the future, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section. It was the one video I probably didn't watch myself because I just looked at the transcript and the bullet points of it elsewhere because I was busy. I didn't have full time to internalize it all. I can't remember how long the video was. If it's under 2 hours long, I could watch it, make notes, and then compare to how it applies now and how much of a success it's been. But for now, let's just see what Kathy has had to say last. This is on the case discussion page. So it's not the army one, it's not the justice one, it's not like any other bits and bobs. This is the case discussion page, which seems like an interesting place too, with good people present. So Kathy said, I have a question, or maybe not such a question, but a mind thinker. If you were 19 years old and was at the party and you found out your friend was dead, went down to see him laying on the shoulder of the road, dead, would you just go back to the house and watch TV like nothing happened and then try to clean up the evidence of all the drinking, or would you call your parents? So the reason why this is very interesting for Kathy Bingham to say is it's very personal and directed at one individual, that being Kaden Pressy. It's obvious, isn't it? Because Kaden was the one to watch TV upon returning back. But we're going to break it down bit by bit because there's a lot more to it, to be fair. So I don't know what sparked or triggered her saying, I have a question, or a mind thinker. Kathy Bingham is showing a form of doubt, and maybe she has suspicion within Kaden Pressy. Not that Kathy has said it herself, let me make that very clear, but Kathy Bingham's attitude, or how you can interpret it from her tone and how she wears it here, it's as if questioning Kaden Pressy that he's not innocent and he is responsible for the death of Noah Presgrove. I said Kathy doesn't say that, but this level of doubt and questioning could lead in that direction, right? To say that, you know, at the time, you're 19, you're at the party, you do find out that your friend Noah is dead, you go to the highway, you're there for 10 minutes, and then you leave because Kaden was told to. The truck driver, whoever it was somewhat aggressive, and Kaden followed orders and respected elders. What's wrong with that? It wasn't just Kaden who was there. What about Brylan Sweat? Oh, is Kathy Bingham not going to question Brylan Sweat? Because what, related somehow? Sounds like a conflict of interest, that, and very biased. But Kaden, oh, well, you can question him because you've got no ties, supposedly. So for Kaden, Brylan, and Mikey, and Isaac to all go back home, the three guys, because Kaden himself individually sits down, watches TV, tries to pass time, trying to process everything, whilst Jack Newton is at the scene, truck drivers too, Kaden possibly assuming that police have already been called, so there's no point doing that, unsure what else to do, possibly shocked as well. Maybe it wasn't on his mind to contact others and family at the time because maybe one was in shock, right? But it's interesting how Kathy Bingham focuses on Kaden as if going back home to watch TV just to try and cope with everything going on, that's seen as not normal, it's odd, it's strange, it's dodgy. What does it lead to? The bit about cleaning up evidence, well, we'll get to that later because it is biased once again, because this is all focused in on Kaden Pressy. Now, some people could question Kaden Pressy in some ways, but you should also be questioning other people too, because it's not just Kaden Pressy that was here or there or doing this and that. And I will explain that just in case anyone misinterprets what I'm trying to say there, right? So, in short, Kathy Bingham is questioning why Kaden left the highway to go back home and sit down, watch TV. No attempt was made to call his family. Well, did anyone else call their family members? Well, the only one what we've heard of was Jasmine Millan in between 5:30 to 5:45, contacting the mother Renee Millan, who came on down to the house. But before that, spending 30 minutes at the scene. Doing what exactly? Who knows? And in Kaden's leaked interview, Renee came to the house with her husband, with Stephanie Millan, the girl that claimed to be at the party itself, but only showing up at the end. I don't follow that, it's weird. And then as well, you've got Stephanie's boyfriend. And then all things happen from there in terms of not just cleaning up, but wanting other items like the firearms, but no focus on that from Kathy. I mean, it's just quite shocking to read this in a way, because it's just very focused on Kaden, but you got to take in mind the timing of it. This has only just happened recently. What's happened before this? What happened before Kathy Bingham made this post about Kaden? Well, Kaden's leaked interview, which was not supposed to be released publicly, but it was leaked somehow, meaning anyone and everyone got the chance to see it, hear it, and all the juicy details in between. Now, did Kaden throw Kathy Bingham under the bus in the interview? No. All Kaden did was highlight that Kathy Bingham had some key evidence. It was handed over some videos or so, or a video of the highway, police guy, firefighter and two others or so, in which the police guy was taking the black shorts off Noah's body, so tampering with evidence. And I guess the timing of that was after Kaden left the scene, because when Kaden was there, just before 5:30 of leaving, Kaden said Noah was wearing black shorts. So after that point, it must have happened, but it must have also happened before 5:43 when the second set of truck drivers, Tyler Hardy, came on down, because they said they saw no one there. A very tight window to do things. And for the shorts to be found in the middle of the road, the white ones, maybe they were in a rush. They didn't get time to put the other shorts on. They just took the black ones off to not dispose of, because they were returned back to Noah Presgrove, and Partners in True Crime said those shorts were damaged. Even more interesting, right? But besides that, things like that has happened in the case. Strange things, but it doesn't seem to be fully questioned by Kathy, because the main focus is on Kaden. And Kaden wasn't the only one at the highway, I said, because of the other guys. Now, Kaden himself, making references to Kathy Bingham in the interview, no harm in that. I mean, like, if you're supposedly in a safe environment with the authorities and in the right hands, and you're supposed to be honest, you're trying to help the police, you're trying to help solve the case, you're passing on updates and all that, thinking that it's the right thing to do, not knowing that it's going to be leaked, you're probably going to mention a lot more sensitive details and even key named individuals. Now, as Kathy Bingham got triggered because Kaden has referenced Kathy, so now it makes Kathy a prime target now in having valuable information and video evidence, so anyone in the background could come after Kathy, threaten her, or have a go at her, and then Kathy's like, oh, thanks Kaden for doing this to me. But Kaden's not to blame, because Kaden wasn't the one to leak the audio. Someone else was responsible. So it's had a knock-on effect, possibly. It's led to Kathy Bingham being exposed in a way that she has evidence, items of value collected, whether she still has them or not, or they've just been passed on, it's kind of made her a target. But then for her to do a post like this publicly, it's almost like fighting back, calling out Kaden. It just seems a bit unnecessary. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, right? The bit about, oh, and is it normal that you'd just go back to the house and watch TV like nothing happened? Well, Kathy Bingham, have you completely forgotten that once Kaden got back, Brylan Sweat, Isaac Rojas, Mikey, who were visibly upset at the highway and crying their eyes out, as Kaden said, well, those guys, when they got back to the house, went to sleep. Is that normal? Now, Kaden did question that. Kaden said he didn't go to sleep because he couldn't sleep. It was on his mind, right? So Kaden just sat down to watch TV as a distraction. That's normal. You know, other people may just sit there and look at a wall. Maybe that's worse because you're just thinking and thinking. Sometimes you got to try and do other things, even if you don't want to do them, just as a bit of a distraction. Even just watching TV, just to pass a little bit of time. Just like when you go to the hospital, whether you're waiting for someone or you've got your own appointment and there might be a TV in the room or a radio, you might make use of it. If there's magazines laying about, you might use them. And yet Kathy Bingham's mentality is, anything bad that happens, if you do anything to distract yourself, then that's not normal. How weird. So, is Kathy Bingham perfectly okay with Brylan Sweat, Isaac Rojas and Mikey Lair coming back like Kaden but actually going to sleep like nothing happened? Why doesn't Kathy Bingham acknowledge those people? Why doesn't Kathy Bingham acknowledge the girls, Logan, Avery, Carter and anyone else in between, Jasmine, who were in the kitchen crying and they were just in the kitchen and that's all they did? Oh, you can't just sit there. You know, you should be doing more, or you should be calling more people, right? Okay, Jasmine Milan may have called a family member, but did anyone else? Jack did at 6 a.m. onwards. As for Kaden, well, Kaden did let his parents know once he made it back home. Did Kaden do that because he thought it was the best time to do it? He wasn't able to do it over the phone. It was easier to do in person. Who knows? Everyone has different reasons. I think what people need to take in mind is when it comes to Kaden Pressy, yeah, Kaden witnessed one of his own friends dead or murdered, and it was pretty bad, yeah. But at the time, Kaden was just friends with Noah. Jack Newton was best friends to Noah. And sometimes your relationship status and hierarchy of how close you are with people, you may react in different ways. Yeah, if a friend is hurt, in danger or dies, you probably be upset to an extent. And it does vary depending on people's emotions. But if you're best friends with someone and they die, it's going to hit you even harder because you were much closer to them. You got more comfortable with them. It can differ. Now, why isn't Kathy Bingham calling out Jack Newton? Oh, because Jack remained at the scene and may have been upset too, and that Jack came all the way back to the party house to let everyone know what happened, and that Jack at 6 a.m. onwards called his father too, that he did more and he was more proactive. With Kathy Bingham, you do realise that Jack said at 4 a.m, that's when Noah passed away, but no attempt to call or do anything about that. What a weird timestamp. Is that normal? I don't think so. But Kathy Bingham isn't looking at the abnormalities within this case as a whole holistically. She's just focusing in, zeroing on Kaden Pressy. And because of the timing of Kaden's interview leak, which just so happened to mention Kathy Bingham's name, the highway footage which shows sabotage and mishandling of evidence, just completely taking it away, very bad. Kathy Bingham responds with this and only towards Kaden. Weird. Definitely an agenda, right? What else do we have besides sitting there like nothing happened? Then trying to clean up the evidence of all the drinking, or would you call your parents? Right. Let me just read that again. You found out your friend was laying dead, went down to see him laying on the shoulder of the road. Would you just go back to the house and watch TV like nothing happened and then try to clean up evidence of all the drinking, or would you call your parents? So doing all these other things besides actually calling your parents. But maybe Kaden wasn't thinking at the time to do that, or he just couldn't. He didn't know how to say it. He had other things on his mind in between, or he wanted to distract himself. It was too hard to believe in what was going on. Everyone has the different methods of dealing with the stuff, and yet Kathy doesn't seem to acknowledge that. But the bit about trying to clean up the evidence of all the drinking, well, Kaden said himself in an interview he did that because of the social hosting laws being broken. He didn't word it like that, but that's basically what it was. But Kaden wasn't doing it just to protect himself or his own back. He was doing it to protect other people so no one else got in trouble, which was good of Kaden. It's quite selfless. But as for Renee Millan, how come Kathy Bingham does not acknowledge Renee Millan, but came on down, spent 30 minutes at the highway, then decided to go down to the house, a key place of evidence where things should remain as they are? And what happens? Okay, Kaden says probably should clean up the cans and stuff. Maybe it should have been kept as it was. But nevertheless, Renee wanted the guns, the firearms, collected, rounded up. Why exactly? Shouldn't it be left as it is? Does make you think, doesn't it? So, yeah, weird. What more can you say about this? What were the responses though? Stephanie Bacon, the Baconator, says, how come you're not mentioning the kids that slept? Yeah, Isaac, Mikey, whom also didn't call their parents. A little bit questionable, Kathy, that now Kaden's video comes out acknowledging you showed evidence to his family and then lied first that you were even there. What's this? Hold on. Acknowledging you showed evidence to his family and then you lied first that you were even there, then changed to only show his mother. Oh, maybe I didn't follow that. But doesn't change the fact that you possessed and showed that video to who knows how many people, and the attention got dropped onto your lap because of your own doing. That's not Kaden's fault, that's your fault. Own your actions and stop blaming a young man for your unprofessionalism. I've always defended you, but I see it all. And Sharai says, bingo! Yep, looks like Kathy Bingo Hall Bingham has been questioned by people now. So we're getting a list of characters and names in recent time. We got JJ Bus Pass Bump Ass. We've got the jacked in, jacked off, pissed off Jackass. And any others? Well, I mean, the list we'll probably add with time. Travis, the Monsoon Walking Disaster, Jeffrey Dahmer lookalike from Wish.com. Yeah, and then you've got Warlike Wrath, Mr. Ted Bundy from Temu. Wow, endless list. We're doing really well. But in all seriousness, this is not a good look for Kathy Bingham, who's supposed to be helping in the case. You know, you hire a private investigator, whether you pay for them or not. In this case, no money exchanged, and this is what you get. See, this is the unfortunate thing. Some of the cases that I've looked at, whenever it comes to the term private investigator, out of the cases that I've looked at, it never ends well. They end up being dodgy. There'll be other cases out there where it's gone okay, but the ones that I've come across, no. Moving on. Chell, I was always a bit wary after watching her video on Partners in True Crime, and now I know why. My gut instinct was telling me not to trust what she was saying. Laura, shame, blame, deflect, game. If you're donating your time to Noah, who's the real client? Kelly Pounds. What a name. Oh no, that's what Kathy is doing. That's what I said. Right. Mandy, maybe he was in shock, looking at the screen, not really watching TV, trying to absorb what he saw. Yeah? I mean, he said he couldn't sleep, so clearly he was impacted. Chell, I'd think I'd call my parents and want to just race home, but it's a hard question to answer as an adult with much more life experience. Obviously, we think we do things a certain way, but when it actually comes down to it, honestly, who knows how we'd have reacted in the position. I found this question very odd coming from you right now, though, if I'm completely honest. I mean, yeah, this late on in the case, and that's what Kathy has to say. Obviously, there's an agenda behind it, and the timing with Kaden's leak, it seems inevitable. Danielle Flowers, classy post. You're being for real? Andrea, shocked. Jeff says, wow, this certainly isn't the way I would expect a professional to behave. Definitely puts a new light on a lot of things. I guarantee those children, yes, children, were in a state of shock and had no idea what to do or say. Witnessing your friend dead on the side of the highway is enough to push anyone to the edge, but especially young adults who've never experienced anything like this. You should be ashamed. Jill says, quite the PI you are. Doesn't sound like PI work here. There's a whole group of kids who went straight to bed. This is weird, isn't it? Sincerely hope she doesn't get paid for those services. Well, she said she was doing it free of charge. Volunteered. From the sounds of it, most likely. I thought in the beginning she was unbiased. I think I was wrong. This is the thing. People have said that Kathy Bingham somehow related to Brylan Sweat, a party goer. Brylan Sweat does more questionable things than Kaden Pressy in the eyes of Kathy Bingham's mentality of, you leave the highway, you go back to the house like nothing happened. Brylan Sweat went back to the house and literally slept. How come Kathy Bingham isn't calling that out as suspicious or odd? Or for not calling parents? Is it because Kathy Bingham is somewhat related to Brylan Sweat and closer, so has more of an understanding or just a bit more lenient in a biased way? It's just not a good look, is it? Lindy, I think I'd be wondering if it was all real or some awful dream. Take some comfort time to assimilate and ground what I've just witnessed. Yep. What else do we have here? TV can be a distraction. Yeah, you can still process without losing the plot. TV can be a support. Yep. Coming to grips with the... Yep. Great points. Be strong. Ooh, from South Africa. So that appears to be out there for these comments. So this is more than enough to, make sense of. It's just not positive. And as Kathy Bingham showed her true colours now, I think before we go on to Facebook and dig a little bit deeper, I think we should just acknowledge a few little points what Kathy Bingham brought up in the past. So basing this from what was said in Partners in True Crime interview with Kathy Bingham, she said that she interviewed a total of 6 people out of 40. Not many, really. Who was actually interviewed? I don't believe the names were mentioned. I'm sure Kathy mentioned that she does believe 1 or 2 of the people are innocent, but then she had 2 other people she wanted to question further. But because names weren't given, who knows who they were? Unless it was Kaden all along she had it in for. You never know. If Kathy Bingham is somewhat close to Brylan Sweat in some way, it makes you think that would there be like a form of leniency all throughout, protective wall? Don't worry, Brian, keep you on the sideline. I'll pretend I'm questioning you and looking into you, but really I'm looking elsewhere, whether they're guilty or not. It does make you think. And more importantly, Kathy Bingham in the situation with that witness that called out. And isn't it weird, the different names? What were they called? Kayla Carter? I don't know how many people have actually seen it. Those from the Army page, the case discussion page. I know we can talk about fake accounts and not everything is true online, but after the Kathy Bingham announcing it, and I did my video looking into it briefly, of Kayla Carter, name was not given at the time, nor was it by Kathy, but the eyewitness reached out to me and left a public comment having a go and complaining, saying, "All right, Raf, you done it wrong." Isn't that like a general theme within this case where people just say, you're wrong, you got it all wrong, but never actually explains what you've done wrong or what's been said incorrectly. So, I don't know, it's petty behaviour, but I just said to him, your tone of voice, your attitude is unnecessary. Basically, Kayla Carter was saying that they are a female in capital letters. Wow, thank you for confirming that, piss pot. Glad to know that you're not an alien or an asteroid. You might have a few hemorrhoids based off your personality. Anyway, I'm sure bump ass can fix those hemorrhoids somehow. They must have already been dealt with. Maybe in the future. Anyway, let's just focus in just for a second in all seriousness. Kayla Carter, a cleaner at the casino, which is somewhat south of Terrell, we've looked at it ourselves on the maps, looking at the cameras and the whereabouts just to process it. And at some point, 2023 or 2024, Kathy Bingham did not give a date, did not give a month, did not give a year. So how relevant is it really to the case? Based off from what the eyewitness Kathy Carter said, no, Kayla Carter, got so many KKKs all about, isn't there? Kayla Carter said she was inside of the bathroom, I guess cleaning, the male one, got access to that. 3 guys inside, doing what? Probably doing what you normally would do when you go into a bathroom, but then started messing about near the bin. And originally it was worded as in placed the hat into the bin. And that was worded by Kathy Bingham, right? But Kayla Carter, the eyewitness, told me off and said, "You're wrong, Raf. It wasn't placed in the bin. It was placed on top of the bin." Well, why are you having a go at me? Shouldn't you be having a go at the private investigator that noted it down, right? It's just how it was at the time. But just the attitude, it wasn't really necessary. And, you know, them opening up publicly to announce it and yet doing it privately in the background, what's that all about? As far as Kathy Bingham didn't get triggered with that. You know what I'm saying? And what did it actually lead to? Nothing. Was Noah hats found? No. Was it Noah's hat at the time? Well, it was said to look like Noah's. And that out of the 3 guys that were there, one of which was confirmed to be a party goer. Who's that? JJ Bump Ass, Colton Newton, Travis Monson, anyone else in between? Jack Newton? Who knows, but it was 3 males, so that's something. And as interesting as it was at the time, just didn't lead to anything. No follow-up on the hat, no update by Kayla Carter or Kathy Bingham. Did it just fade away? Maybe. Has anything else been promised or acknowledged and then just faded away? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section there, because maybe there's a pattern that comes with it. Either way, we need to look a bit closer on the Facebook pages to see what the remnants are and the remaining discussions, and see if there's any more questions with this ongoing situation. Because once again, Kaden's in the firing line. People are turning on him and pointing the fingers at him, even the so-called professional people. And when they let you down, and the ones below let you down, where is the hope? It's a problem. Here we are. So maybe for the first time round, you're getting to see it from the point of view of the case discussion group, where we see some key post. Vanessa, 4 minutes ago. So wrong how Kathy thinks it's okay to call out a young man who's been through that horrible night. Makes you look guilty. It's obvious who you truly work for. What a joke of a PI you are. This was recently posted on a YouTube chat by one of the people you work for. You think this is okay? A person called Greg. Poor Kaden Pressy will spend the rest of his life looking over his shoulders. His murder case will come out next. What does that mean? Does that mean Kaden will die next? Is that like a threat? Sounds like it. Been a year, but it will happen. We got Cindy. Shout out to Cindy. I mean, it will happen, but at the moment, there seems to be a lot of tables flipping. And speaking of which, Nana says, Kathy Bingham deleted her post before answering my questions for her. I'll ask them again. The real question is for Kathy. Where did the video come from, and why the secrecy? In a case like this, every piece of evidence counts. Withholding information from law enforcement raises disturbing questions about motives and potential cover-ups. In terms of the video, what's being talked about here, it's the highway one, where it shows police guy and some others removing the shorts off Noah's body. And I'm guessing it happened after Kaden left. With that all in mind, I heard about the video some months ago, and you would too, by Michael Fazekas, that either watched or heard the details about it by other people that have watched the video, and it was like 2 to 3 people that had copies of the video of the highway. And then there was the original person, but no names were ever given. Now, out of those 3, 4, 5 people that had the videos at the time, were any one of them Kathy Bingham? Was one of them at least the truck driver, or a truck driver that recorded it in the first place? Some of these names popping up from Kaden Pressy's interviews, you know. Interesting, isn't it? Are we deflecting? What role are you playing in this? Are you enjoying the games you're playing? I'm starting to question your mental status seriously. How can anyone justify withholding critical evidence in a suspicious death investigation? Kathy Bingham, you should be charged with obstruction at the very least and have bingo balls thrown at you. Edited to add, I'll say this, Kaden sounded pretty confident when he divulged in the existence of the video. Yeah, he did. And you know, considering Kaden acknowledged it too. We've heard some people online on pages say that they've seen or they've heard about it and given details, and you know, you can believe in them, but you could also be skeptical. But then when more and more people talk about it individually and say it's true, and then when you get an actual party-goer witness who's also witnessed the footage and who has also been at the highway before the disturbing stuff happened, the foul play, really ties it in line and reinforces that in a way. Anyway, if the video does in fact exist, they all need to drive to Oklahoma City. If this is a lie, then they need to be held accountable as well. Noah deserves justice, and the ones that are obstructing that need to be charged regardless of who they are. And that's what we saw before, pretty much. Comments, not too many, which is always a good thing. It makes it easier to follow. So shout out to all the people. We got Joyce Berg. I'll just call Joyce Berger, it's easier. It's an open investigation, shouldn't be sharing information with outsiders. Maggie, in what world did she think that post was appropriate? Good idea, professional. I could keep going, but I mean, come on. That was bizarre. I don't want to make assumptions, but like, is she okay? She sounds a little bit triggered, almost like kind of getting back at Kaden. Even though Kaden wasn't saying anything bad about Kathy, it might be more so that Kathy could be overreacting in the moment because somehow she might have a target on her head now if other people didn't know before. You know, if you've got important evidence and material which can expose people responsible for Noah's death or at least tampering with the evidence, then those responsible in the background and dark forces may then lock their sights onto you and try and get rid of you or silence you. So unless Kathy Bingham is in a troubling situation and then taking it out on the wrong people, but people already had their suspicions and doubts about Kathy Bingham from day one, so might not be that simple. Sharai, motive for holding back evidence involving corrupt Ellie. Maybe she is afraid for her life. Hope she gave it to the FBI. Right, so Sharai is kind of on the same wavelength as me. Nana, is Nana short for banana? Banana Bentley. So trying to question Kaden and deflecting her behaviour is helping. This post did not sound like someone afraid. It sounds like someone trying to discredit this young man. I mean, when you look at the wording of it all, it's very direct. It's intentionally for Kaden and only Kaden, and there is a biased agenda that comes with it. So there's that to take in mind. Has it been written out in a rush? Does it come across as one is panicking? Not in the moment. Maybe Kathy isn't as worried as some may highlight. Kathy's more pissed at the possibilities as to what could happen. Maybe. So Shirai says, not defending her. See, this is the problem, right? When a human gives a form of reasoning or an alternative perspective, sometimes another human will think it's a form of defending that person or that person's bad behaviour. I think it's a little bit unnecessary at times. Shirai is just looking at it from a different angle, which at times is needed. Shirai says, not defending her in any way. I think it's totally unprofessional the way she has handled this. Comes across as done out of spite since she learned Kaden Pressy spoke to investigators about the evidence she didn't hand in. She didn't hand it in? Is that Sam? Michael Fazekas said he handed it in to the FBI or his local office. I don't know how successful that was, but I do remember hearing that in the past. Shirai says, I'm objectively making the point that the reason she may not have done that is because if there was a corrupt police officer in that video, who would you trust to not destroy it? And if they think you have copies, people disappear, you know what I'm saying? I agree, deflection and pointing blame on a young man does not help. So that's what I was questioning in the past, where people were saying how, oh, you gotta let the LE do their job and get on with stuff and highway patrol and this and that. But What's the point handing in evidence? You spend time collecting it, finding it, you pass it on to police, and what do they do with it? Do they preserve it? Do they protect it, handle it with care? Or do they just kind of like put it in a shredder and just get rid of it? All gone to waste. If it went directly to the FBI, wouldn't they handle it a lot better and preserve it? So there's that. She can go straight to the Attorney General office with evidence of this magnitude. They would welcome her. Going to outsiders with this and bringing more stress to this young man is sickening and beyond unprofessional. It's mind games, pure manipulation. So, does anyone have an explanation of who Kathy Bingham shared the video to? Who? Can anyone give names? Shirai? Absolutely agree. Moving on. Frankie, my question is, why could she get the videos she has and these other law enforcement couldn't or just didn't have it? They've done such a pitiful job on this case, and I truly hope the FBI gets involved and takes it over. There we go, see what Shannon says. Supposedly someone sent it to her, and when she noticed it, they had deleted their Facebook profile. Well, I don't remember hearing that about deleted a Facebook profile. All I heard from Kaden Pressy's leaked interview is Kathy Bingham got a hold of it, someone passed it on to her, and Kathy thinks it was one of the truck drivers who was there at the time of when Kaden was there and remained there after Kaden left. So that's worth taking into mind, isn't it? What else do we have? Frankie also says she seems to be the only one doing her job. In what way? Performing a duty would have necessitated directly delivering the video to the Attorney General office, not diverting to a witness' parents. By knocking on the door, she raised serious questions about her accountability. What is in the video? Where it's the law that Amy P. Who's Amy P? I should turn evidence over to the Attorney General office. I don't understand that. And yet again, why didn't law enforcement have this video? It still doesn't make sense to me unless a serious cover-up is trying to happen. I guess the only way the law enforcement would get a hold of it if they actually questioned the people that had it in the first place, or those that had it in the first place reached out to the law enforcement wanting some kind of evidence. And in between, there could be complications where some who may have the key evidence are too scared to hand it in because they may feel in danger, or they may feel like they become in danger when they do share it. And that could be from those directly within the case caught up in it, or it could even be some of the LE, if they get found out that they've been caught on camera doing questionable things. And when you're in a smaller community, and all the eyes are on you, focus, the whereabouts, your movement, your behaviour, and a lot of people hear news pass by quick, it's going to be an awkward situation. But if you can do it anonymously, if there's at least someone you can reach out to, authority-wise, higher-ups, and pass it on, then that's what you do. Unless some people were so scared. Who do you think calls in the FBI to take over another agency's investigation? Attorney General Office can absolutely call the FBI to investigate a suspicious death if it appears to be linked to corruption within another government agency. Key points to remember. Yeah. Melanie, is there any way for a common citizen like me to get the Attorney General's attention? All over the world, that doesn't get their attention, I don't know what would. Well, me personally, I've not heard about the Noah Presgrove case all over the world. Like, yeah, okay, I'm from a different country, but I only heard about it because a viewer on my channel mentioned the name of the case, and I thought, okay, I'll look into that, and then got interested and then started covering it. I didn't actually hear it mentioned on the news for me to learn. Bailey, I'm just going to leave this here for a bunch of folks who know little to nothing on this case. Like, actual fact, y'all sure quick to jump on folks. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong, but dang, guys. Oh, there's a new word. Dang, doing y'all thing. But what does Bailey also say? Also, another question was, there any answer from Kathy about why she was seen at Kaden Pressy's house if not sharing information about said video? Well, Kaden said in the interview that Kathy Bingham came down to Kaden Pressy's place, showed him the video and talked about it. And then the interviewer said to Kaden, that's weird. Is it weird? Is it because the private investigator is going towards Kaden first instead of actually going to the authorities with it first, prioritising it in the wrong order? Yeah. And why Kaden, though? It's interesting how Kathy supposedly goes to Kaden, of all people, to share it with him. Is that because she trusts him? And then, just because Kaden talks about it to police, which is the place where Kathy Bingham should be going to in order to pass on the evidence, now Kathy feels betrayed. Kathy should be more annoyed at the person that leaked that interview audio and not Kaden, right? Amy, well, we already know this answer because it's exactly what everybody there did. Is this how private investigators conduct themselves? Well, seems to be. I've not really seen any normal ones because I'm at a loss for words here. I keep talking to every Texas cop I know about Noah. Doesn't seem professional. I know she's pro bono in this case and now it's all making sense. But what about the ties with other family members? Conflicts of interest. We need to highlight that, don't we? Do we have any other key comments which I've not seen yet? I think we've seen it all. Oh. Holding back evidence corrupts, maybe. Yeah, we've seen that. Jill. So Kathy deleted her post. Weird. Such professional. Kathy, why were the girls in the bedroom? What? Why were the girls in the bedroom? Did they go back to sleep? When was this mentioned? What were they doing? What did they think happened? Wasn't Carter Combs supposed to be the sober driver, designated driver? That's from what I've heard of, yeah. Why didn't she give Noah a ride home when he wanted one? Yeah. What did girls think happened? Kathy, inquiring minds think you have all the answers. I'll wait. What happens if I click that? There we go. Kathy Bingham, public profile. Is there much going on here? Not from the looks of it. Sometimes it might say post by Kathy Bingham, but if they've been deleted, they're probably just not going to show, I don't think. Oh well. Comment-wise, what do we have? She is throwing this question against Kaden Pressy. I mean, it's obvious, because Kaden Pressy, realistically, was the only one to get back from the highway to watch TV because the three other guys went to sleep, so it only leaves Kaden standing out, which Kathy seems to question. Revealed her true self. Seems to be the case. Who is Kathy? See, I remember... actually, no, I won't, because probably trigger people. Anyway, chill. Private investigator who has been working... Yeah. Wish I took a screenshot. She posted at 4 a.m, something along the lines of, if you were 19... Well, yeah, we've already seen that. It's good that whoever got the screenshot of it at the time, credit to them. It's obviously very helpful. What about the rest of the others that were sleeping? They've not been questioned. What about her family member that was there? Brylan Sweat. There we go. We got the reference. That's what we needed. You know, if Brylan Sweat did something very questionable within this case and it came out, would Kathy Bingham give it the same level of coverage as she's called out the likes of Kaden? Probably not. And that's problematic, isn't it? Now, what does Noah Presgrove's family think of Kathy Bingham's behaviour just recently? What does Alicia Lee think? What does Kaden think himself? Weird. And Kaden said, oh, I can't trust anyone now. And that was posted before Kathy Bingham's post. Unless Kathy Bingham saw that what Kaden said, I can't trust anyone now, as an insult. But still, very petty behaviour. Maggie asked the exact question. Question was targeted. And as a PI, it comes off as very biased and unprofessional. Pretending to be working with him. Believe nephew by marriage. To Brylan Sweat. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, she's pissed about Kaden telling officers about that supposed video. That's why it's silly, because if Kathy is annoyed that Kaden told the police daily about that important evidence, then it seems like the attitude with Kathy Bingham is, I don't want to be going anywhere near the police. Kaden, you shouldn't be telling the police about this key evidence which could actually help solve the case. No, don't do it. Make it harder. Drag the case out. That looks like Kathy's mentality. Because if Kathy got a hold of this important evidence and actually passed it on to authorities, or at least the right authorities, what you're supposed to do, then Kathy should be praising Kaden for also telling the police about it and being consistent with that story, not scolding him. What's this one? Please explain to me. I've missed a bit, but I've noticed all of a sudden, brother, I don't know what it means, JJ Bump Ass becomes very active in the case. CN. Colton Newton? We can speculate how we would behave in the situation, but we really don't know. Yeah, that was by Kirsten. Stealing of the bear, very childish, not saying it was anything to do with anything, but where I live it would have turned into fights. Referring to, what, Monday, early morning, what was that? Kaden Pressy claimed to be drunk, not able to really do much, but witnessed a skinny person, could be JJ Bump Ass, Travis Monson, Colton Newton, I think, coming along and taking bear. And they returned back, meaning they were there earlier or the day before. And did they come back again after that, or remain on site? We have my screenshot. Oh, so is it Nana that got the screenshot to begin with? That's quite useful, that. Got to be careful, you got to get these screenshots before they do disappear. Jamie, now we know why she was at the party house for 3 days straight, overseeing the clean-up job 3 days after Noah's death, why she lied about having the video evidence of the cover-up that she didn't turn over to Ellie, or any other evidence for that matter. Interesting. Yeah, because Kaden Pressy also said in the interview that 3 days after Noah's death, Kathy Bingham, then in 2023, was... Actually, quick question. When was Kathy Bingham a part of the case? When did she, join in as the private investigator? Was that in 2023 or 2024? And if it was in 23, was it 3 days after Noah's death, or did it happen months later? If it happened months later, going into 2024, that is very weird how Kathy Bingham, of all people already involved in the case, or post-investigation, post-case, right towards the start of it all unfolding, 3 days later after Noah's death, spending 3 days total at the property, observing who comes and goes, whilst maybe not being a private investigator tied to the case at the time. Sounds like some early planning and preparation, overseeing everything, making sure it all works out fine. Interesting. But what ties would Kathy Bingham have to those involved within the case, and why would the Millan family have to come on down and clean the house when, what about Avery Combs, Carter Combs, Logan Jernigan, Stevie Howard, those lot, the ones that either live or own that place, shouldn't they be doing a cleaning and not the Millan family? Why should another family have to come on down and clean your house? That's a bit weird. And then why should Kathy Bingham oversee it all at the time of when she might have not been assigned as a private investigator to this case? Right? It all comes down to the timing of when she announced or when it was agreed that she would help work on the case. If it was later, that's more suspicious because she was already tied in with the case early on, getting involved. What else do we have here? No matter. Seems she is working for the other side, the guilty, and her nephew Brylan Sweat, and not Noah's family, or to get Noah justice, as we suspected, may be the case and definitely is a conflict of interest. Further, Kaden is the only one who has told the truth and has his digital data forensic evidence to prove it, but he had to pay for himself, and who has been fighting to get Noah justice, which she even stated herself, putting his own life in danger, and now she's trying to plant the seed that he may be guilty. Go back to interview. Out of 6 people, she believes 2, with one of them being Kaden. This doesn't really show it now. Oh, what, being innocent? Yeah, I think that's like how I worded it earlier, roughly speaking. I remember her saying that in an interview. Now that you mentioned it, and now I know who the other one is that told the truth. Who's the other one that told the truth besides Kaden? You get what you pay for. Where did the money donated for a real private investigator go? Oh no, no. We're going to be talking about where did the money go for the private investigator, the 3 others or the 2 others, and then everyone get called out and families at war. Oh no, we've had that in the past. Trying to respond and the post was gone. So for her to delete the post, what she created in the first place, was that done out of regret, heat of the moment, or more? Another reason. She isn't very private. I guess not. Mishandled the case. I knew she would, but I'm sure someone has a screenshot of it. Yeah. Her Kathy comment was passive aggressive. Should have asked him directly as a professional. However, some people answered her question and some people were accusatory as to her motive for taking. Throwing shade on Kaden. Yep. Some PI. Shady lady. More worried about her Netflix deal. She has been blabbing to everyone that she is about finding justice. Once Stevie Howard's talking about a Netflix deal or show, and Stevie Howard saying she'll be acting as a certain character in the Netflix show and stuff. Weird. Trying to deflect because she looked bad for looking like she's keeping evidence from Ellie in new leaked interview. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah. When I think of it now, when police said, do you have anything, is there any other evidence out there which is not public? And then Kane said, yeah, actually I do. It's about the highway and the shorts being removed by a police guy and some others present. And then the interviewer said, what? You're pissing me off. No, this can't be real. Really? And then just having a go at Kaden just for telling the supposed truth. So due to the reaction of that interviewer, the police to LE, clearly they weren't fully aware of it, but now they are, or they were made aware of it, I should say, back in June of 2024. Has much happened since? I don't know. Has the video since been passed on to the police, or did the police get a hold of it? I mean, more than ever now, you think the police would want to get on top of it, get a hold of it somehow, some way. Whether that be for justice in the case, or just so they can cover their own backs and get rid of that evidence and delete it somehow. Cleared out for me. Can't remember who's responsible for the video and following Noah's life. Does anyone suspect Ellie is involved? Not at all. Ellie questioned Kaden exactly as they should. Forwards, backwards, and from the middle. They're building a timeline that matches the science and comparing those statistics of other depositions. Please don't tell you right, wrong, or indifferent unless your story isn't matching the science of discovery. Oh, but Amy, do the police try and make you change your story when Kaden says, was I there Friday or not? Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. And then the police guy who wasn't even there to witness it says to Kaden, you know what, you were probably there on Friday. It's a normal thing, other people would. Yeah, you were probably there. You shouldn't be doing that. You're kind of crossing over. You're kind of trying to convince or force a story onto Kaden to accept, even if it's not the correct timeline. So I think you didn't acknowledge that, Amy. And a few other bits and bobs and the argumentative behaviour. Took the black shorts off. Then what were they done with then? Where were they taken to? Because in the end, Dalen Presgrove, the brother to Noah, did get given them by Jack, I believe. But at the time of the highway, when the black shorts were removed by the police guy, where were they taken to? Who were they handed over? Like pasta parcel, relay. Mum was in a group, she was discussing this the other day. I just forgot. Oh, what, Alicia? It's a video. Yeah. Seen that. It isn't viewable. Oh. Interesting. I heard a little audio but no video. So this here, is that by Criminals Hate Me, which some say is Travis Davidson, the YouTube channel, the profile picture with the guy with the beard. the one that actually uploaded the video of the audio, the leaked audio interview of Kaden Pressy and the police. Because here looks to be private now. Interesting. Was that done because the video was reported? It's not been deleted, it's just been privatised. Kathy doesn't like being tagged. She removed her tag. She has the video. Did she leave the group? I don't know if she left, but she did untag herself. Well, I saw elsewhere that supposedly she has left the group. Now, in terms of this group itself, as she's a part of, why exactly? You'd think, the higher up people, those that might try and act professional or at least make an attempt to, that maybe working close with the family of the victim, Noah Presgrove's family, it would make sense to be on the justice page and be there mainly. To then go off onto these more kind of like non-family run pages, is that the best way of wording it? I'm surprised Kathy Bingham would be going to the informal places. But then again, maybe Kathy was using these pages to lurk and to gather more information. You never know. Chalia says, I knew she would eventually sink herself. I said from day one she does not need to be on the case. By the way, Kathy, if you want to keep peeping my TikTok, just send a friend request. So supposedly Kathy Bingham is watching Chalia on TikTok. Tiffany, y'all will look for any reason you can to pick apart anything anybody says that doesn't fit the narrative you have created. This is a discussion group. I agree that as a PI working for families shouldn't be posting such things online, but I've seen this happen with anybody that has a different opinion that the rest of the group, the name calling and accusing them of being friends, family, or working for the partygoers and their families simply for having a difference of opinion in what could have happened. Oh no, since you all know for a fact what happened and who did it, and there are videos that exist of it happening, and this is knowledge of the general public, why hasn't the case been solved yet? Oh no. Now deleted post isn't the first questionable action taken by Kathy. You are correct that people in this group are very quick to pounce and disagree. However, some things are coming to light about Kathy that justifies our questioning her motives. Yep. I saw the post and I agree it shouldn't have been posted, and I don't agree with a lot she's done either, or that she should have been hired or taken to the case to begin with. My response was more so directed at the mob mentality members in this group have their inability to have a discussion with others if they have a difference of opinion, immediately respond with name calling and I'm right, you're wrong. I don't see that too much, but who knows? It just seems like messy time anyway. That's the original post there. Quotes on it. People are using the term video for two different things. It's confusing. One, the interview Kaden conducted with law enforcement was uploaded to YouTube. It isn't a video per se, rather it's only audio. It's audio recording of the interview. There is no video. But if you was to get a photo, a screenshot of whatever, and you added audio, like an overlay, could be considered background music as well, you're transforming a piece of audio into a video, but the original piece is just simply audio and not an actual video. Number two, supposedly there is an actual raw video taken at the scene, the highway, where and when Noah's body was found. Some people claim to have seen this video. However, to my knowledge, this video has not been released to the public. And that's to do with the shorts being replaced, taken off. So, yeah, pretty much clears that up. Pretty sure in many comments has made, he stated he didn't call his mom because he knew she would jump in a car and race there. He doesn't want to worry people. Maybe. I don't remember that personally, but extremely unprofessional. That's pretty much it there. I just wanted to, see what the other comments were. Kaden's interview, he referred to seeing Noah on the road and his body was contorted. Would that have been used term if Noah was in a semi-fetal position? I wonder. I mean, it was mentioned at some point about fetal position, on and on and on. And then, when it came to Partners in True Crime, it was mentioned that, no, not in a fetal position. That wasn't the case. When it came to Kaden Pressy, seen the body, not in a fetal position. When it came to Jimmy Williams, undersheriff, getting there at 6:15, 6:18 a.m., not in a fetal position. So supposedly never in the fetal position. I don't know where that little obsession came from. Shout out to Michael Facecast for sharing the video, much appreciated. I do understand if people see it on the surface level and think, wait, what? That's from this page or that's from here? Isn't that just repeated? But no, I give the additional analysis onto it and questions in case anyone's wondering. Speed of highway, as noted, discussed with me, like hit and run, where his teeth magically flew out his mouth. God, still talking about hit and run. Was the bathroom photo of Noah and Jack Newton really from that weekend? I asked because it doesn't seem like the writing is in any other footage from either nights. Did we actually see footage of Noah from the front at the time? I mean, we can always do like, we'll probably be using that footage anyway, to be honest, don't we? Because we need to apply it to something else. Knuckles aren't scraped up like they were in the Saturday photos. Is it because his hand or one of his knuckles was like bent so you couldn't quite see where the marks would be? I saw a post when Noah went home to shower. Saturday he had gotten most of it off. Then afterwards is when they begged him to come back. To be begged to come back and no one else was begged to come back, then it stands out, doesn't it? Wait. Slapping video was Saturday night, not Sunday. There are 2 slapping videos. The first slap was by Shandy, slapping Noah, Saturday night. The next slap video was when Brylan Sweat slapped Noah because Noah asked for it. And that was, at first, Sunday night, but actually it's early Monday morning at, or is it like 1:30 a.m? Very interesting to know. Oh, shit. What's that one about? I've never seen that photo. This writer finger's got the wheels turning. In the video, the girl's writing on his behind. It looks like both white and black marker. Does anyone know if this image is from the same party or a different one? Where did you get that photo from? Is that Noah Presgrove? I mean, he's got the shades on, got the hat, got the writing there. I'd guess it's probably from the same party. I've never seen this photo though. Is this like the type of social media which has been deleted or hard to get hold of? And where was it posted? Who by? Looks like a selfie by Noah himself. Did Noah upload it onto one of his social media accounts? If anyone can clear that up, that would be appreciated. Like, there was some people saying there was either photos or videos of a guy or two licking white cream, whipped cream off Noah's nipples or chest area. I've never seen or heard that myself firsthand. There were the odd photos where Noah had whipped cream on him, but not anyone licky on it. None of that. I mean, what the hell? Must have been drunk. Do we have anything else? Easy piece together, side by side. Oh, we'll look at one last thing. Just to answer the question of the day! Any questions about if there are tapes of Noah's death? Yes, there are. They are safely in the hand of the proper LE. They cannot be destroyed, they cannot disappear, they're in the hands of multiple LE divisions. So if you had a starring role in the tape, don't worry, your starring role will be safe as can be until it's time for it to be seen. Rest good tonight knowing your standing roles are secure in the safe proper hands. That's by Dina Rose. Do we have time to go on Reddit briefly? Maybe. So this was 21 hours ago by Hide Bad Memes. Okay. Title, All Caps Lady is loudly announcing Ellie has been given the tapes of Noah's death. To say tapes, what, multiple videos of Noah's death, or was it just one video? Why isn't she removed from the Facebook groups? Drives me crazy. This is talking about Dina Rose, in case anyone didn't know. This is her post. Just to answer the question, so we've read all that basically before. What's the comments? What do people have to say? Can we do it to the newest? New says, not sure how she knows information, but I do believe she has truth in most of what she says. I think we'll all owe a couple people some apologies when all the truths are presented. Justice for Noah and his family can't come soon enough. It's likely a facade. I hope so. Unfortunately, I stopped reading and participating in the free Facebook pages and have lost a lot of interest in this sad case as a whole for many reasons. My top two being new people asking and saying the same things that have been asked and said over and over again for a year, and the number of interesting characters at this point are not even entertaining anymore, just annoying. So you're disappointed in the presence of the bump ass, the rump ass, the dump ass. Oh my god, how could you even think that? And then we got the jack ass, we got the jack shit, we got the Brylan bullshit sweat with the, I don't know. Oh, fuck. You know, if we're actually talking about characters as in what? Within the case or just in the community? Yes, the Dylan Rounds case was a lot more wild and intriguing. Not as bad here, so that's a positive. But, you know, there can be twists and turns, and I thought there has been just recently with the breaking news. As for people that are coming on in with the same questions or points new to the case, well, what do you expect them to do if they're new? They're not going to know everything. Weird. Check once a day, that's it. I think many others are losing interest because of this, and at this point, I'm sure we're any closer to any resolution. Well, you know, at the end of the day, if people drop off from the case, well, I'm still here. I'm still making videos, so all under control. Simple as. And to be honest, if things do slow down, not to sound negative, but that would actually be a positive, at least for me, because I get time to catch up and then sink my teeth into things. You know, I'm having little nibbles, okay? I'm nibbling a few people's melons. I'm avoiding people's nuts because I just can't be bothered with that. But I'm just not, you know, getting in there. I'm not putting my mouth on it. Well, do I need to put my mouth on it? Not really. But metaphorically speaking, when talking about it, focusing in. And, well, as for the melons, hopefully they're still juicy and soft. Huh? What? I don't know. But, you know, map analysis is where it's really at. Photo analysis and comparisons is where it's really at. But I just don't quite have the time for that yet. But there will always be a time at some point. And especially when things slow down, it allows other people to catch back up. I don't think we can blame the general public for the shortcomings of law enforcement. I blame them. Of course, people are going to have wacky theories and continue to go round and round. I mean, what are truly the wacky theories? Oh, David Paulides. UFOs were involved. By the way, buy my book. That was really the only wacky one that I've seen, really. Repulsive, same. Unless something new is revealed, confessed or discovered soon, I don't see much else happening. I think the main character suspects are just biding their time. Well, it seems like people are throwing someone under the bus and panicking recently. Blendy says, I think a lot of people left, the same people always posting, and if you disagree or have a different opinion, that's what happens, you're an idiot. It's old seeing so much drama. To be honest, the drama we saw just days before the 1 year anniversary of Noah Presgrove with the family, Justin Roy and some in between, and Tiffany or something. That's kind of faded away since, but now we've got drama elsewhere. You know, you've had we've seen it with the run-ins with BBC having goes at different people, and then Vanessa Salazar getting attacked, all kinds of things. I mean, even if, you know, dark forces out there that are actually supposedly innocent, or at least claiming to be innocent, any times where the response is a threat, well, probably not the best way to go about things, you know. I don't know if it's a desperate attempt as in trying to get people to back off and make people stop. Maybe if it was just said in a more polite or neutral way, that would be enough. Maybe with the threats, it actually makes people actually lock on more than back off, because it's kind of like revealing some kind of resistance against the truth. Well, sadly, I agree. Never been to Oklahoma, but it sure sounds like the way things work, there's a large part to play in this case. Why is she yelling? Because she's got bad eyesight. What's been said? Excellent says she's been removed. Please flag any comments I've missed from her. She broke rules by accusing a person over and over. So Excellent Spy is saying that Dina Rose has broken rules on Reddit. Ooh. Nana. Wait, Nana Lulu. Is Nana Lulu the Nana Bentley on Facebook? I don't know. Some of y'all are easily triggered. Just block her or keep scrolling. No, not triggered at all. But it does make you wonder why she spreads the lies. How does she know about videos? Who's talking, who's not? She posted that an arrest was happening that day. That was a month ago. Her information is false. So someone got arrested. Who? Yes, I heard Hillary Clinton was also going to be arrested. Oh no. You prove it's not true if you know the facts. Well, since she knows all the facts, go ask her. I never said I know the facts, but it doesn't take much common sense to see that if a video existed, there would be arrested by now. That semi-driver was on the phone with 911 when he was supposedly videoing the four men tampering with Noah. He never mentioned them. I mean, you refer back to Kathy Bingham that had, the golden ticket of evidence, but nah, didn't really hand it into place, from the looks of it. Well, that's unfortunate. There's quite a cast of unhinged characters who seems to surround this case, locals and outsiders alike. I'm removing her now. What, is Dina Rose a part of this group? What? Sorry she is not in here, I don't think. I would not ever criticise or ask why you do anything. Oh, okay. Starring roles, maybe she could take the caps off and slow down to spell starring correctly. Well, I've heard she's 70, 80 years old, so that gave me a little bit of perspective. You can always pause the video if you want. She doesn't know what she's talking about. There are no tapes of his death. All she does is get people worked up. I mean, you could put the argument across and say that publicly there is no evidence to suggest that those videos, those tapes of murder situation of Noah exist. But at the same time, there's not enough evidence or proof to say that it doesn't exist. It kind of works both ways, just like the Kenny Beach case. I agree completely. Why is she not removed from these groups? Because they love the drama. Right, so you see it from all different sides. Let's reach a bit of a conclusion right now. So I think the key word to describe what's gone on in recent time is disappointing, messy, what the F moment. Bit like how I appear right now with this on, but this will be explained a bit later if you do stick around. I'm sure Miriam will be in approval right now, which is obviously a very positive sign. Anyway, in terms of Kathy Bingham, there was suspicion earlier on. I was a bit sceptical as well. And just in general, private investigators. I came from a case beforehand, which was dodgy private investigators. So then to move on to this case, I'm like, oh no, we're going to have a repeat all over again. And in a different way, that's what seems to be happening. It will be interesting to see what happens next. If Kaden or Alicia responds back or gives their thoughts online as to this new situation, what do the Noah Presgrove's family think of it? Are they disappointed? Do they feel let down, stabbed in the back? And what direction will Kathy Bingham take now? Will this recent behaviour and change lead on to a more intense focus within the case, going underground or focusing more so on the dark presence out there? Who knows what will happen next, but there are twists and turns over and over again. What I will say is I'm glad I didn't lock in too much with the timelines and I only made 1 to 2 projects, because at the end of the day, after Kaden Pressy's leaked interview, some of those timelines, timestamps are a lot different compared to how it was said at a later point, a month later or so, and then my timeline, what I based it off from. So there will be adjustments. Maybe what I will actually do is not edit the previous one, but create a new project and call it July's timeline, or June's timeline, I should say, and work backwards, because when one time is impacted or changed, all the other events are somewhat impacted as well, if it's everything's pushed forwards or brought back early. So let's just see what happens next. You let me know your thoughts down below. Are you surprised, disappointed, shocked with Kathy Bingham? Was it to be expected? Is it all because of that leaked audio? If it was never leaked, would Kathy just be completely oblivious as to it, Kaden talking about it and making a reference? But surely at some point, if Kaden mentioned it to police, and that was in June, and from June till just recently, Kathy may have been in the dark because she's only decided to post about it now, as of today or yesterday. How come police in between didn't follow up on what Kaden said and question Kathy and say, go on, give us the footage? Because either way, at the end of the day, the police would definitely want to get a hold of it, either to benefit themselves, just to clear up any mishaps or anything that would make the police, their force, look bad, clear that up. Or two, because they're doing the job and they need to get a hold of evidence material to help solve the case. One way or another, the police should have been proactive in their interest in some way or another to get a hold of it, or at least to follow up Kathy. And maybe that didn't happen. For Kathy to only react now, when the original interview conducted with the police at the time was done months ago, what else has happened in between? We might only start hearing about things now and it might sound all new and fresh, but when it was originally said or came about, may have been months ago. And then you think, well, that time frame in between, what's actually happened? If not much, then even though it was obviously very important what was being talked about, those that were listening to it, interpreting it all, not really stepped up, or at least publicly, it doesn't come across like that. So, next video that I do, maybe I probably should do the Travis Monson one and the comparison with some other photos. Okay, Kaden has said that Travis was at the party even though Colton says he wasn't. Weird, one covering for the other. Why would Colton do that? Bit random. Oh, it's tickling my face, this. Sorry. So, at least I can breathe this time because I've actually got holes. The other one, I didn't have as many holes. But yeah, I might do some loose end videos to tie them up just so it doesn't pile on top of one another. I did do another video earlier on. It was very, very long, but maybe it'll be uploaded now or later. We'll see the timing of it all. Be sure to go to my channel page because I did do a post there inquiring about it. With that all being said, thanks for watching. Appreciate your patience. And in today's video, we have finished with Noah Presgrove. I'll return back to it tomorrow or the day after. Okay? But right now, in this moment, if anyone has managed to stick around, I need to explain the mask situation. So let's just put Noah Presgrove aside now, and we're transitioning on to something else. So, Vanessa Salazar. Vanessa, I can't think of a name that. Vanessa? No. I'll have to work on. I can't think of a nickname at the moment. Nessa? No, it needs to be a better one. But Vanessa wanted this mask. So, there you go. This was the first mask worn in the first 50 Shades film. No. Not the proper one, but my dodgy homemade one. On YouTube, by the way. Huh. So, I look like a complete fucking idiot, to be honest. But there we go. Nevertheless, Miriam. Guess what's available? The other mask. Do you want it? Because this is the thing. I don't know if I should say or not. A bit naughty. But Sharon inquired about myself wearing a mask when checking their box. And I thought I would inquire that about Miriam. Madame Miriam. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think I should be wearing a mask to fix Sharon's box? Let me know, Miriam. I respect and follow your opinions and thoughts and feelings. Okay? In the meantime, what I've noticed, Miriam likes mask, wants this. There you go. Hold on right now. Yeah? Can you see, Miriam? Can you see? There you go. Just move it over a little bit. There we go. Perfect. So, Miriam by day, student by night. The Catwoman. The little pointy ears, maybe. Ooh, okay. So, the only other thing, and it's a viewer request. So if anyone gets into a tantrum, don't blame me. Blame the people that suggested it. So, shout out to Elizabeth and then some other person that was really passionate about me doing an Indian accent. And as for Vanessa Salazar wanting an Italian accent, and as for maybe Miriam, Asian accent, can I fit it all in? Oh, you think I cannot fit it in? Long time no see. Long life, long noodles. You look like a man is a pork bun.
You don't have a pork brain, you're not a whole man. I don't care what gender you are. The HKPD incoming is arriving Hong Kong police. You come to my store, you're not going to steal anything, you naughty boy. I don't allow that. Okay? Thank you. I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now. But I'll tell you something, you want to burn my wicker basket at the 99p good brothers. When I try and talk to these boys, I can't understand a single thing what I'm saying. I'm sick and tired of what's going on. I'm saying like an Asian man, I sound like I'm in great pain. I'm wearing this mask. This mask is very important. It covers my facial expressions. It's very important that I do that. Very, very good idea. I'm turning into a bit of this German accent. It gets very hot. But, you know, I can't do everything all at once. Oh no, whole like love cannot do too many things at once. As Japanese samurai warrior, is a major honor to, welcome all the people into the dojo. Can you please put your samurai sword away? It's pointing me in the back. I do not want to bump my ass into the sword. It's very mighty. Oh, what great power you have, oh Miriam, brushing the strokes with the brush. Fine one you are. Anyway, the one thing what they should acknowledge, Vanessa Salazar, Mamma mia, you are here. It's about the time. I just wanted to ask you one thing. Would you like one sheet or maybe a two sheet? Some days maybe good, some days maybe sheet. But I'm not talking about that type. I'm trying to create a pizza for the whole like Raf pizzeria, and I don't know how many layers you want upon your pizza. You want one or two? You want so many? Oh, mamma mia, I don't know if I've got too many ingredients. I just have to go into the kitchen and ask my cook and see how he's doing. Yes, can you come here? I'm in a rush. Come here now. I do not want the peppers. I don't want the chicken. Get the cheese and all the other shit and put it on for Vanessa. She's in a hurry. Vanessa is very hungry. If you don't feed her in time, she gets a little bit sassy. My goodness. I don't know where I'm coming from. No, I've lost in translation. Anyway, here we go. Oh, hello. Namaste. So, you may wonder why the screen is a little bit dodgy. But I put a mask upon the screen. But that is for good reason. All the people like, come on in. They want to complain for the hurry and the curry. You need to wait a little second. Because the music playing and background, you got to talk about. You got to wait your time. Be patient. Be a good individual. Because if you're going to misbehave, I will have to come and get you. You do not understand me? I will teach you. Do you see what happens? You know what I want to know? Where is that individual? Where is that person with the great profile picture? What's he called? Danny? Danny boy? Where are you? You've been a very naughty individual. Maybe it's time that the uncle pays a visit. Or my goodness gracious me, you really need to learn some grace. You need to go back and you need to learn how to be a good individual. Or what will happen is the uncle will come around and give you a button. I am not playing around. This is not a very joke. This is a very serious situation. And you do not listen. This will happen. I hope you understand. I hope you learn your lesson. You got a lot of learning to do. But there is another time. Okay? Thank you. Come by in. Goodbye. I think that pretty much sums it all up, doesn't it? I mean, as for the American voices, stop. My God. I mean, you know what? I'll reserve my voice and my throat for now before we go any further, because I'm sure that can be done another time. But, as for the Russian accent, Настя, привет, здравствуйте, мои друзья, которые сейчас в Облесе, Россия, разве старый, до свидания, здравствуй. You see, if I try to do Russian accent, people question me. There was one time in the past where I was talking to someone online, they thought I was actually from Russia. They tried questioning me, saying what type of school, what set was I in, how the fuck am I supposed to know when I'm not even from there? It's not just my problem if I cannot talk like this, suka, блядь. But at the end of the day, after 10 minutes of confusing, deceiving the individual. I just tried to reveal my true identity. I am no spy. I am no secret informant. I am just warlike Raf, and I'm at your service. That's pretty much it. Darby Danye. I'll see you next time, Droga. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.